Hey, 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 everybody. Thank you for joining us. You have just tuned in to Where is the Love? I am one of the hosts. I am Stephanie Hockenhall. Joining me is the other host. Introduce yourself.
The name here is Adisa Karanja Malik, formerly known as Gene Williams, and Happy New Year!
Right. Happy New Year. And y'all, we just celebrated 7 years of service to the community. Love Misunderstood Institute is now 7 years old as of 2 days ago, January 2nd. So happy New Year, happy anniversary to us. And we're coming up on year 5 of this show.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, April will be 5 years. We've been doing the doggone thing.
That's wild.
So we have so many videos and so much information that y'all can go back to. Go to the YouTube channel, Love Misunderstood Institute, and you can see the videos that we've done, the information that we've shared. We've talked on a lot of subjects, but they all talk about bullying as well in different aspects.
Right.
So you can learn so much. Go ahead.
I was going to say, as well as Premier Fitness 0210 on YouTube.
Yes. Also, while you're on right now, while we're recording right now, you can be watching us on Roku TV or Amazon Fire. All you have to do is go and search POD space LIVE, and you can watch us live only while the show is airing or when they do a replay. Also, I have it connected to my LinkedIn. So if wherever you are, and I won't say my LinkedIn page, but if you're on there, you should be watching us right now. Because I'd rather keep Facebook on Facebook. Keep that personal family and friend stuff on Facebook. Because some of the stuff I be seeing, I don't want on my LinkedIn page. Because that I'm a business woman. Not business, been a woman.
Business.
So yeah, we have been talking about bullying. So many people think that bullying is aggressive, that bullying is loud. Nope, 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 nope. Bullying can be quiet. A bully can be passive. So we've already done 2 shows. We've been off the air for a few weeks. Well, we haven't been off the air. There's been replays, but this is a new show. So the last 2 shows that we did before we took a break we're talking about the quiet bully. So we're adding more now. So you know the bully is not quiet. You want to add something?
Yeah, well, there are levels. You got the loud, abrasive, physical, aggressive bully. And you got the other polarity, like you said, the quiet bully that we're discussing now. This passive aggressive and excludes people and ices you out or makes subtle pokes at you or and I kind of rather have a person just get up in my face and holler at me than go ahead and holler and cuss me out a little bit. I can take that.
Right.
All this little subtle stuff. It's like, wait a minute. Am I overreacting?
Yeah.
Maybe go back. Is this me? Am I tripping?
Yeah, it's something. So we're going to give you some information today to help you understand the quiet bully. So let's get started. So first of all, welcome, family and friends. Today we're talking about a form of bullying that breaks hearts quietly. It's subtle, it's silent, it's poisonous, but invisible. And because it doesn't look like yelling or fighting, people don't always take it seriously. But bullying, quiet bullying is real. It leaves deep wounds and it's everywhere in families, friendships, workplaces, churches, and relationships. Quiet bullying doesn't scream. It withdraws, it ignores, it excludes, it manipulates, it humiliates in small, sharp ways. And so many people live with this pain in silence because they don't think anybody will believe them if they say something about somebody bullying them, especially if that person is quiet. So today we're exposing the quiet bully. All right.
Yeah,
So welcome.
absolutely right. Silent cruelty, hurts in a way that's hard to explain. When someone ignores you on purpose, withholds affection, makes you feel invisible, or excludes you from things, that pain sits deep in your chest. Like it's that deep burn and that deep hurt, like,
Yep.
you know. And people always say it's not that serious,
Right.
but it is that serious.
It is. It is. So quiet bullying shows up in behaviors that are easier to deny, easier to hide, and easier to explain away. But they cause just as much damage as loud bullying. And Jean gave you some tips a little bit ago.
Hmm.
So, but they cause much just as much damage as loud bullying. So, a quiet bully, this is what it looks like: silent treatment, guilt tripping, excluding somebody on purpose, ignoring messages, giving one word answers, rolling eyes, yes, nonverbal body language speaks. Okay?
Oh yeah.
So
Yes, Lord.
backhanded, yes, backhanded compliments, subtle humiliation, joking that is really an insult, and then purposely withholding affection, attention, or praise. It's cruelty dressed in silence.
Yeah. I kind of wanted to go back to one of those real quick. Well, actually,
Go
there's a
ahead.
couple. The joking that's really an insult. Like that's that they say something negative about you and be like, "Oh, I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
I'm just messing with you."
yeah,
But it's still like something that I don't remember who said this. Was it Kevin Hart or was it Dave Chappelle? Either way, he was like, "The best comedians hide truth in joke form, and those are
yeah,
the best jokes. Those are the ones that hit home." Um, and it's the same when a person hides an insult in a joke or what they call a joke.
yeah,
Um, and also purposely withholding affection, attention, or praise. Like I've been there and experienced that, and it's demoralizing.
yeah,
Um, it's like it makes you want to chase this person for their attention and their affection and their approval. And that oof, man, playing that Tom and Jerry game with a person is exhausting.
that is very hurtful because it makes you question yourself. I'm trying to or question your love, and so that's when you really know love is misunderstood.
Right,
This person is doing this to me, doing these things, saying these things, treat me like this. Do they really love me? But you
right,
don't think about that when you're in it.
right,
You think about how hurt you are and why
right,
is this person doing this? What can I do to change this trajectory? Of where this is going. This ain't cool. This hurts.
right,
And so I tell you, when your eyes are open to things that are really happening, like now, we've learned so much and teaching so much that
right,
we recognize what something is. So they have names now and not
yeah,
just feelings.
right.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
you want to add something else?
No, well, I mean, just kind of add on to what you just said. Is it's a blessing now that we have the vocabulary to help us
Yes.
identify situations like this. Because like you said before, it was just like you felt a certain way,
Yep.
um, but you didn't really have the terms to identify the situation. So now that
Right.
like that, shedding light on being able to name something takes away part of its sting.
Yeah.
You know, and that and then that gives you the ability to be aware of it, and you can start your healing journey from that point. So yeah, it's beautiful to have that vocabulary now. Yeah, the
Yeah.
jargon, the jargon
Yeah.
to explain these things. But yeah, all right,
So right now we're gonna share a few stories what Eugene is gonna start sharing.
right. All right. So the first story is the friend group that used silence as punishment. So there was a woman who came to me saying her friend group suddenly stopped talking to her. No explanation, no conversation. They just froze her out. When she asked what she done wrong, they give vague answers. And see, that's quiet bullying.
Yeah.
That's emotional punishment. She cried herself to sleep for weeks, not because they yelled, but because they abandoned her emotionally.
And so there is such thing as an emotional bully. We know that, but just saying to the audience. So an emotional bully will yell at you, to stop you from saying something, to them, a certain thing to them. If they don't want to hear it, then they'll yell at you or they'll cry. They'll get emotional
Right.
and they'll bully you or control you, which is what bullying is controlling negative behavior. Control you with their emotions, whatever that emotion is, whether it's yelling or to control your emotions. So yelling, shouting, things like that is what an emotional bully doing. That's what we're seeing here, um, in what the story that Gene just read. You want to add something?
Yeah. Or also, like you said, the opposite. They don't yell. They just kind of ice you out. Um,
Yeah.
well, maybe I want to say that. Yeah, I think I'm gonna wait to the next one. I'm gonna let you read the
Y-
next one and say what I had to say there.
Yeah, icing out is more of a social bully. So I'm keeping you from being socially, connected to me or to somebody else. And so that's when it becomes isolation and social bully. And then antisocial bully is similar. It does the same, some of the same things, but there's more to both of those, and we'll get to those in a little bit here. So the next story is the spouse who used distance to control. A married woman told me her husband was shut down for days whenever he was upset. No talking, no affection, no eye contact. He weaponized silence. That is not conflict resolution, that is emotional control.
Yeah. So yeah, this is what I was gonna bring up. So I know exactly how that feels. To have a person use control and distance, in a former significant other, this person would avoid me for like days. It started off as days, and then it formed into weeks and then months. But this person would avoid me. Um, I come home from a long day's work, and this person would literally, like, I walk into the room, this person would leave, and I wouldn't see this person until, it was time, for the night to end, and then they just went to bed with their back turned to me.
That's
And
horrible.
yeah, that went on for months and months. And that man, if it wasn't for a good support system and meditation, meditation was a big thing. I was constantly meditating like 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes in the evening before bed, just to keep my mind right. But
Yeah.
dealing with that type of situation, like literally to know that your significant other is avoiding you constantly,
Yeah.
like that, that is painful.
Yeah. Yeah, I've had relationship like that too, and it is very hurtful. because you wanted to change, and you might say something to them, but they, still don't talk to you. So then eventually you just give up effort. I'm not even going to try. And then so you're walking around sad and hurt. And before you know it, you're depressed. And
Yeah.
so it really leads to uh, bad things. And then it can eventually affect your health negatively, affect
Yep.
your health. So you want to
Yep.
add something else to that?
Um, so man, I guess in situations like that, it's like you said before, just to be aware of things. And when you notice that this person, this is because again, it's a mechanism of control,
Yep.
a mechanism of manipulation.
Yeah.
And when you get to the point where you realize this is a pattern of theirs, you have to address it as such. Like people show you who they are, oftentimes less by what they say and more by what they do.
Yeah.
So like pay attention to patterns. We all have them.
Right.
A person, a person can only wear a mask so long until it slips off. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, just
I
be
did.
aware. Be aware. You're right, man.
I
But yeah,
can't dig it, but yeah, I dig it. I don't want to
you
dig
dug it. Right?
it.
Want to dig it, but I dug it before. I don't want to dig no more in that area.
You want to
Yeah,
go to the next part?
for sure. All right, so the third story is about a manager who used subtle sarcasm. A manager I worked with never yelled, never cursed, but he used sarcasm to belittle his team. He made jokes at their expense, rolled his eyes when they spoke, excluded certain people from meetings, and everyone felt small around him. Quiet bully, loud harm. Um, and all of these stories so far have included social and antisocial bullying, which what the host S explained earlier. So we're gonna explain what's so social bullying is again excluding people from groups or sharing information important to you or for you, ignoring or leaving someone out on purpose, spreading rumors about someone, destroying relationships and friendships, embarrassing someone in public, telling lies or stories about someone to make others not like them. My
Yeah.
Lord, I know people like that. You know
Yeah.
them social media gangsters who like to go on and cry, oh my God, I'm a victim, but don't talk about what they actually did. Those type
Right.
of people, the woe is me type people. Anyway,
Yep.
um, we're getting off topic. Antisocial boy. Antisocial bullying involves shunning, excluding, gossiping, mimicking, spreading rumors, using offensive gestures, and negative nonverbal body language.
Yep. And I want to share with y'all about. I told you a little bit about emotional bullying. So here's the definition of. Here it is defined. An emotional bully, they interrupt you, they cry to get their way, throw fits, accuse you and blame you, yell and scream, punish, seek revenge, and threaten. They use their emotions to control you and the situation.
Oh my God.
Oh, shoot. So, why quiet bullies act this way? You want to go with that, or you want me to do it?
You go ahead.
All right, quiet bullies are not always confident. Would y'all believe that? They're not always confident. You would think that a bully is confident because of how they act. I mean, they seem to be so powerful when
Right.
you're afraid of them. So to know that they're not always confident is different. So most of the time they are emotionally afraid. Y'all believe that? That's hard to believe. So because bullies are quiet, uh, here's they do what they their quiet bullying grows out of conflict avoidance, fear of confrontation, fear of vulnerability, emotional immaturity, insecurity, trauma, learned behavior, and shame. They do not know how to communicate directly. So they communicate through silence. They don't know how to express anger, so they punish with coldness. And Jean just shared some of that, and I did too. And they do not know how to share hurt, so they withdraw affection. And all of that stuff is hurtful, especially when you don't know what the heck is going on. And like for me, for many years, I didn't know what bullying was for an adult. I knew what it was for kids. I didn't know that adults bully, and then once I learned, because what I used to always say is, dang, it's a bunch of mean people in this world. And so I was talking about the adults. And so most of my bullying was experienced in the workplace. And so that's how re- that's how I identified them as just mean people. And then once I learned that adults bully too, and it was because I kept being bullied over and over and over again. And I finally said, what the heck is this? Why does this keep happening? And it was all behind 3 bad job losses that got my attention. And a lot of times that's what happens. Things happen in our lives and we're tired of it and we're like, what's going on? What do I need to learn? What's in this? What is this about? Why does this keep repeating itself? When you start asking questions, then you can start getting answers. And so when I said, what the heck is going on after the 3rd job loss, then I had already seen the video of the little boy crying, being recorded, saying, why are people so mean? Why do they have to treat you bad because you're different? Well, that's what I was experiencing. And he was talking about bullying. So then that's when I was able to identify, oh, not just kids experience this. This is what has been happening to me all these years, and I didn't know, couldn't identify it as bullying. So I just wanted to add that because, man, when your eyes are open to things and you're able to identify and give whatever it is a name, like you said earlier, then you're like, oh, now I know what to do. Now I know what to start looking for. I need help with this. I don't want to keep experiencing this. Then, you got to make choices. Then, what do I do with this? How do I respond to this? How do I get over this? And then things start getting better for you. You want to add something?
Yeah, for sure. So I mean, uh, hell, children learn from adult bullies. They learn from their parents or cousins or you know brothers or whatever. They learn from adults who do this to people, and that's it's just a vicious cycle. You know,
Yeah,
um, it's a vicious cycle of just people hurting other people because they don't know how to deal with their own hurt.
right.
Instead of consciously healing, we consciously or unconsciously maybe utilize the energy, that pain, that fear that we have to cause the same thing on other people,
Yeah,
which is absolutely insane.
yep, it is.
You know. So, I've seen people who can't say you hurt me, so they punish you with silence. They can't say I'm upset, so they shut you out completely. They can't say I need love, so they pretend that they don't care.
Yep. So, in other words, they have a lack of courage and don't feel like they have a voice. That was me. For many years, I felt like I didn't have a voice.
Same.
And it had to do with people pleasing and me thinking people would like me if I, you know, didn't attack them back. But that's emotional immaturity, which is the inability to manage and express emotions in a healthy, age appropriate way. Emotional
Right.
immaturity grows into emotional cruelty.
Yes, Lord.
And that's the stuff that we just got through talking about.
You know, and we've talked about before. Now now y'all gonna have to go back a while for this one. But we talked about how like how people who are notoriously and habitually uh, um, displaying emotional immaturity, oftentimes their brain, their amygdala, which is the impulse control mechanism in the brain that releases things like adrenaline. Their amygdala is underdeveloped, so it's like
Yep.
they have no. But you know how you'll hear people say they have no impulse control.
Yeah.
You know, so all of this is not just like actions. There's even a chemical and mental and emotional aspect of you know people who abuse habitually. I
Yeah.
mean, who are the abusers and or abused? I mean, well, you don't
Yeah.
have to go
Yeah.
back there.
So a little girl, this is another story. The child who copied their mother's silence. Did y'all know that happens? Yes, that happens. We are kids, we're their examples, and they do what we do, not much, not a whole lot of what we say. So a
If you
little
don't back
girl,
it up, we ain't doing it.
a little girl once told me, my mom doesn't talk to me when she's mad. So when I'm mad at my friends, I don't talk to them either. All she did is repeat. So children repeat the emotional climate they were raised in. Yes, they do.
Oh yeah, yep. Yeah, our children are often our mirrors, so we have to
Yep.
remember that.
Mirror image. So now we're going to do a little mini trauma education. So, why quiet bullying hurts the deepest? You want to do that part?
Okay.
Um, Sorry, I didn't look at it. Silent cruelty activates rejection trauma. So, when somebody gives you the silent treatment, it triggers the same part of the brain. Gene was just talking about that. That activates physical pain. He was talking about some of that, talking about the brain and how. So the brain reads silence as rejection, and rejection is traumatic.
Right.
Rejection is a hard thing to get past.
Yeah.
It is a very hard thing. It took me many, many years. And sometimes, I still experience it, but I don't react or respond to it the same way because I understand what it is. You know, you want to add anything?
Yeah, for sure. I was gonna say, like, often the feeling of rejection shows up in that feeling of your stomach drop. You know,
Yeah.
or like a hollow feeling. Like you're not important. And it's crazy how a feeling and a thought work together to create things. Like your body literally takes the vibration of an action and manifests it in the physical body.
Yeah.
The I mean, fearfully and wonderfully made for sure.
Yeah.
We are.
Yep.
All right, so we can say that explains why being ignored hurts so much. People say it's just silence, but silence slices the heart deeper than yelling ever could.
Yes.
Why why silence from ignoring someone hurts? Because silence slams the door shut, cutting off connection entirely.
Yeah.
Silence can be a weapon of control or punishment, stonewalling, making the recipient feel powerless and unheard, even if they are physically present.
Yeah. We talked about stonewalling a few years back
Right.
uh, when we were talking about the narcissist.
Oh yes, Lord.
Um, so you want to tell them what it is?
It's kind of what we talked about earlier. You know, yeah. So someone does something that you didn't like, so you avoid them. You don't want to talk to them. You won't you know connect, like even eye contact, or affection. The person comes to give you a kiss, say, and or you try to look them in the eyes, and they just looking around you like you don't exist. You
Yeah.
know, man,
So
that
here,
Jesus,
sorry, here it is
nah,
defined.
you good.
So stonewalling is a communication tactic where somebody emotionally withdraws and shuts down during conflict, refusing to engage, like Jean was just saying, eye to eye contact, or cooperate by giving a silent treatment. Avoiding eye contact, that's exactly what you just said. Leaving the room or giving one word answers effectively, building a metaphorical wall to avoid the issue.
All of the above.
Yeah. And so when you're doing those things, know now that you're still bullying. It's
Right,
just quiet.
right.
You're being a quiet bully. There are passive bullies,
Oh
you
yeah,
know. So, like I said when we first started, bullies are not always loud. They're not always physical. There's so many different types of bullying. It's all about trying to control the way somebody feel, the way somebody think, or something that somebody does. And so
right.
you're trying to make them feel bad about those things. So it's negative, controlling, repetitive behavior. You're doing it over
Patterns,
and over and over again. What'd you say?
the patterns.
Yeah. So now trauma point two. Quiet bullying creates emotional confusion. Because it is subtle, people doubt themselves. Was it real? Gene said that earlier. Am I overreacting? He said that. Did I imagine it? He said that. Did I deserve it? Quiet bullying creates emotional fog, which is exactly why it's so harmful. And here's what emotional fog is: it refers to a disorienting mental state, often used by trauma or manipulation, where thoughts are unclear, decisions difficult, and emotions confusing. Why would you do somebody like that? Because you don't understand love. So you just treat people however you want and think that it's okay. This is me. I'm doing this. I'm running things. You mental health. I'm a certified mental health coach. Here I is. I'll help you
Right,
with that.
right.
Not here
Yeah.
I am. I know how to talk. Here I is. I will help you to get your mind functioning, not functioning, functioning right. Because you need help. Um, we don't run the world. We don't run people. And when you're treating people bad, believe you're gonna get back what you have done. It's gonna boomerang. Maybe not with that person, maybe not right now, but it's gonna come back, partner.
Right. And
So
kind
you
of
want,
kind of add on to the emotional fog, it's also another term for that when dealing with actions of a person with narcissistic personality disorder. It's called crazy making.
yeah,
We talked about that when we spoke about gaslighting some time back.
yeah,
But it's again creating an emotional fog where you question reality. You know, they obviously did something, and now they're like, I didn't do that, or I did that because you did it, whatever, whatever. And that just creates a situation of disorientation, like I said, where you're like, did that really happen? Did she do that? Am I overthinking? Am I overreacting? Am I, you know,
yeah,
and so on and so forth, so much so that, again, it causes uh, anxiety,
yeah,
um, can cause even, you know, hell, cancer, stroke level heart rates.
yep,
It goes deep. It
yep,
goes deep.
yep. It really does.
something that we talked about earlier in the show. Joking around though, but we said that loud bullying tells you clearly what's happening.
Yep.
Quiet bullying makes you question your worth, question your sanity, and that's the wound that lingers.
Yep. Yeah, because you're definitely wounded by silence, and we just shared a lot of information about that. Um, Even though you may pretend that it didn't hurt, if you constantly replaying it in your mind, rehearsing it in your mind, it's because it hurt, you know.
Right,
And you might be trying to be tough and act like it didn't and say it didn't, but what you saying and what you feeling and how you're responding to it definitely don't line up. Your
right,
mouth is saying one thing and your actions and your thoughts are saying something else.
right, right,
So, I'm grateful that we have information to be able to share to help people, and that, we're helping ourselves, with the information that we are able to um, get and give to people, and talk about, have real conversations about bullying and what it really is and what it really looks like. And it
right,
don't look like, you know, a person thinks. Because
right.
I never, you know, before I started, studying to find out more about bullies, before I started my investigation, before I started my investigation, of bullying, to learn more about it and what it looks like. Man, I didn't know. And then once I started learning, I was like, wow,
Yeah.
there's so much more to this. And that's how it is with anything. I'm saying bullying because that's our conversation. You want to add something?
No, it's like once you begin to realize like there's levels. There's a whole rabbit hole.
Yeah.
We could be studying this subject forever and ever. Amen.
Mark said your mouth doesn't match your actions.
Right.
Sing it
Exactly.
again forever and ever. Amen.
Forever and ever. Amen.
Yes, Mark, I am a PI. I used to call myself, when my kids were young, I used to
Yeah.
call
Right.
myself call myself Investigator Stephanie.
Hmm.
And something happened. I can't say it on here, but something happened in the last few weeks. And Keisha reminded me, well, I can say this part because it's funny. And I wasn't being a bully. I was trying to deal with a situation. But
Yeah.
so I wasn't gonna say this, but I used to always say when my kids were growing up that I was an investigator, and I still do that. And Keisha just said to me not long ago, and this is funny, so I'm gonna share it. So we were coming to Memphis to watch you perform one time.
Hmm.
One time, and Dennis was there. You
Hmm.
remember he was living there, and so we told him you were performing, and we wanted him to meet us at the college.
Yeah.
So we were in line of a whole bunch of cars, and a car hit us from behind. And
Hmm.
so I turned around and looked because I'm in the passenger side and Kevin was driving. And so I, turned back and looked at Keisha and said, "Are you okay?" And she said, "Yeah." And then I looked at him and said, "You okay?" And he said, "Yeah." And then I looked in the uh, rear, in the, passenger mirror, and
Right.
saw the car backing up. Me not even thinking, I just jumped out the car and started chasing that car on foot. So when
Nah.
we got in the school and met up with Dennis, I told him what I just said. And he said, "Okay, Christy love."
Right. Yeah. Come
So
back here.
right. And so I was something was going on with Keisha recently. And then so I was letting her know, I'm Mama Bear. When something happened to y'all, I'm still gonna be Mama Bear. And so she said, Mark said, not the fender bender.
Right.
But
Hmm.
anyway, when I showed Keisha what I had, she said, "Okay, Christy love."
Yeah.
So it came back up again.
Right.
But I just, and then something else happened just a few yesterday. As a matter of fact, she sent me a text message, and then so in the message, I, told her, well, this ain't what you said. And so anyway, she said, why you always gotta investigate stuff? And I said, because that's what I do.
That's what it does.
So I look, I ain't new to this. I'm true to it.
True to
I've
this.
been
There we
doing
go.
this for years.
All right.
Mark
Second
says,
nature.
right. So Mark says, so were you the bionic woman?
Right. I mean,
I,
you know, you
I
call in
be
the right time. She might jump over some cars on you and stuff. You know.
right. Something happening with my kids. I'm forget how I feel and how I think. I'm
Right.
coming. I'm coming after you. I'm Mama Bear, so
Right.
I'm invincible at that point.
Right. Yep.
So anyway, we got off subject, but bullies need to be investigated. We need to, so in that, I'll just say it like this: in that investigation, we have to okay, now I recognize what you're doing.
Right.
Now we got to make a choice as to what we want to do about it, how we gonna respond to it, how we gonna react. That's an
Yeah.
investigation.
Right.
That's just something I do.
Yeah. And I mean, what you just said is what I've said at least twice in this show. Pattern recognition,
Yeah.
recognizing the person's patterns. That you're investigating. You're being aware.
Yep.
You know, you're being cognizant of certain things that a person does over and over again. We all have those habits. They're second nature. We don't even really think about a lot of our actions before we do it.
Right.
So, a person will tell you who they are by the actions that they constantly repeat.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I was gonna go on to the next thing.
Go ahead.
All right. All right. So trauma point three. Silent treatment mimics childhood abandonment trauma. Man, if someone grew up feeling ignored, unseen, or emotionally abandoned, quiet bullying reopens that childhood wound. This is why it hurts so deeply. See, silent cruelty brings back the fear of being unlovable, the fear of being forgotten, the fear of being replaced, and the fear of not being enough.
Woo! That touched me because silent treatment is emotional abandonment. It is punishment through distance. And so many adults are living with that pain,
Right.
and that's hurtful.
Yeah. And it's unnecessary.
Yeah.
All right. So here are some examples of quiet bullying in real life. So quiet bullying shows up everywhere. It shows up in relationships through withholding affection, ignoring messages, walking away in mid conversation, weaponizing silence, and subtle disrespect.
Yeah.
In friendships, in friendships, it shows up as excluding someone on purpose, keeping secrets in front of them, inside jokes meant to humiliate, and leaving someone out of group pictures.
Yeah. And then families, parents using silence as punishment, siblings ganging up on one person, relatives making subtle jokes that cut deep. In workplaces, managers who avoid direct communication, co-workers who sabotage behind the scenes, subtle intimidation, false joking that humiliates someone. Quiet bullying is everywhere because people think if I didn't yell, it's not bullying. That's a lie. It is. You're just a passive or a quiet bully. But
Right,
emotional harm doesn't need volume.
right. I was going to ask,
So go ahead.
a favor of you, if you don't mind.
Hmm.
Now you've experienced quite a bit of workplace bullying.
And that's what I was getting ready to say. I want to
Oh,
share.
okay. We're thinking the
Hey,
same thing. What was it?
yep.
What was it?
So y'all listen, I was thinking today about one of the instances that I experienced at work. It was so horrible. So I started this job working hospice. And so I started one position, and a year later, I got another position. And then a year after that, I got another position. So I had three positions in 3 years. That third position, I had that position for 3 years. So I worked for the company for a total of 5 years. So this is what happened. So the lady that hired me for the initial position was the owner's boss or the owner's sister. She, shortly after, within a few months after I got hired, she left the company. They had family issues, sibling issues, and so she left. So she came back uh, 5 years later. And when she came back, I was in that third position and had been for 3 years. Well, she was surprised that I had learned so much about the company and that I, had been in two other positions from the one that she hired me from. So, what was horrible is that she was jealous, she was envious of the knowledge that I had and the relationships I had created with the workers. So, what she started doing is, and before I go to that part, during them 5 years, I saw a few different um, managers. I can't because I can't remember their title, and I don't need to because I'm not really trying to tell people what company this is. But anyway, so the person that was over the nurses and the aides and the staff, not human resource, but she was over the medical staff and not a human resource director. They would come in and they would fire all the people that was there, and then they would hire, not fire all the people, but fire a lot of the people to give their friends the positions that they wanted them to have. So after 5 years, it happened to me, and I was devastated because I watched this. And for all those years. But this lady, what she did is there was a lady that was hired to do a job. I found out a few days before I got fired that that lady had embezzled some money from the company that she worked for before she came to us.
Wow.
So she was doing some things to me and trying to um, well, it was a couple people in management positions, along with her and the owner's sister. They all got in cahoots together to fire me, is what they did. And so they were looking for things, trying to fire me. And so one of those people, uh, who was my boss, the two that I'm talking about was not my boss of the position that I was in. So it was just so doggone crazy. The one that embezzled the money, when I told the owner's sister what happened, did you know she embezzled money? She said, "Yeah, but that don't, yeah, I heard something about it." So
Mm.
then 2 days later is when I got fired, and I was like, "Oh, that's why she responded like that." But what I was gonna say a few minutes ago is that the lady that was my boss kept giving me work, more work than I could do to um, I can't even think of the word, to pressure me to quit. And I didn't. And so she did that for a few weeks before I got fired. And then she come in and say, "Did you get this done? Did you get that done? Is that too much work? Are you okay?" She knew it was too much work. But all of y'all were working together to get me out of that position. So that's enough of that story. What I want to share about that, what happened, is the owner's sister, well, the one that embezzled the money, exactly 2 weeks after I was fired, she, the FBI came to the company and picked her up, put her in handcuffs, and walked her out the building You did me wrong. Then the owner's sister, I don't know if she got fired or if she just quit because they went through, her and her brother, the owner, went through their thing again and she left. So, like I said, I can't remember if she got fired that time. I think she got fired that time. He fired her. So a few weeks after she got fired, that happened with her a few weeks, within a couple months of the time the FBI picked up this other lady. And then it was just so crazy. So this lady that originally hired me, that came back and was envious of what I did, and she joined in with them to fire me. She got fired, and then her husband owned a tax company. He was selling cars, and so he IRS ended up coming after him. And
Wow.
all of this stuff happened in less than 6 months of the time they let me go. And I heard about all of that and saw it in the news. And I'm like, see, that's so what I was talking about earlier is the boomerang effect. What you do to somebody else is going to come back to you. It might not happen through them or with the person that you're mistreating, but it's going to happen to you.
Yep.
So that's a one particular story for whatever reason today that came back to mind. Yep, Mark said karma is a mother. It sure is, and a father, and
And a
it's a
child.
mother father. He said, like intentionally hurting people, yes. And then he said, don't you hate when coworkers sabotage you? It was horrible because I watched other people throughout them 5 years walk out grabbing their stuff, crying, because they were devastated. I didn't walk out crying, but they even walked me out, you know, watch me stood there and watch me pack my stuff when they told me, you know, we're firing you. Firing me. I'm like, what the heck? And I said, I don't even know how to. They called me. She, the one that they walked out in handcuffs, the FBI. She called me in the office of the human resource director. She told me she wanted to have a meeting because
Mhm,
the lady that pressured me and was giving me so much work got fired.
mhm.
So then they made this woman that had embezzled the money my boss. So all of this happened like in 2 weeks' time.
Wow.
So it was just crazy. You pressuring me, putting all this pressure on me and asking me, am I okay?
Right.
This is a lot of work. So then she gets into it with the owner and she leaves. I still don't know if she was fired or if she just left, but they got into it. So
Mhm.
then the human resource director, knowing all of this stuff, put that woman in charge of me, the one who embezzled the money. This is your new boss. And
Right.
then she started working with the owner's sister to get me out of there. And so that's why the owner's sister wouldn't listen to me when I said, I just found out that she embezzled some money from her last company.
Right.
Did you know that? And she said, yeah, I heard something about it. And I was like, wow. And then when I got fired 2 or 3 days later, I was like, oh, that's why.
Mhm.
And then she ended up getting fired. So see how all of that worked out?
Yep.
It was a hot mess. And so that was my first job experience. And then
Mhm.
two more came after that when I realized, oh, bullying is what I've been experiencing. So, and it was all because of a young boy that was crying and saying, why do people treat you bad because you're different? He was crying and hurt. And I heard that story because it went nationwide, all over the news, the newspapers, and social media for two
Mhm.
weeks. And so that second week is when I lost my third job. And I
Mhm.
said, what the heck is going on? I have never been fired from jobs.
Right.
And so anyway, but I was telling them when they said, we're firing you. What? And I said, how do I get unemployment? I don't even know. And they didn't say firing you. They said we're letting you go. Why ain't stupid you firing me?
Right. Right.
So, so I ended up drawing unemployment for a while. It took a little bit to get it going, but it was just horrible. So, like I said, that was the first of the three bad job experiences when I said something is wrong, something ain't right. What do
Yeah.
I need to learn? What do I need to see? Why am I experiencing this? What the heck is going on? So, yeah.
Yeah, man. I think it was Johnny Guitar Watson who put out a song. That's a real motherfucker.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So
Man.
we want to ask you a couple questions here. Jean, you want to ask the questions?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. All right. So first, before we even go there, let's all take a deep breath and exhale and ground ourselves in this moment. So I'm gonna ask you, the audience, a few questions. Um, just to kind of help you become aware if you've been, quietly bullied by someone, or
Yep.
if you're doing the quiet bullying yourself. So, have you ever been ignored on purpose? Who made you feel invisible growing up? Does someone you love use silence as punishment? What subtle cruelty broke your heart the deepest? What part of you is still healing from being excluded? Now, as always, take your time, let those questions resonate within you, and answer them on your own time. Silent wounds deserve loud healing.
So place your hand over your heart. Jean already did that. And breathe in slowly and release. And this is a way, to slow things down. So breathe in, hold it, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out through your mouth. And when you breathe out through your mouth, breathe out slower than you breathe in. 2 more times, and we're at the end of our show. Breathe in, hold it, breathe out. And when you breathe out, you should feel your whole body just relaxing. One more time. Breathe in, hold it, release. Man, that felt good.
Mhm.
You want to go ahead.
Okay. So I want you to say softly to yourself or out loud, either way works. I deserve emotional presence.
Yep. I deserve emotional presence.
I deserve to be seen.
I deserve to be seen. You said say it softly, but I'm saying it loudly. Go ahead.
Yeah, you gotta reinforce it. Gotta reinforce it. I deserve to be spoken to with love.
I deserve to be spoken to with love.
All right, so here are a few healing affirmations to just help you with this journey. So first, and repeat after me if you please. I release the pain of being ignored. I reclaim my voice. I choose connections that choose me back. That
Sorry, I
last
did it.
yeah.
I did it backwards. I was supposed to be repeating after you. And while ago, I was supposed to be saying it softly. So y'all just ignored me. I know what I did, but I'm okay. So this week, pay attention to subtle forms of cruelty. Write down one instance of quiet bullying you have experienced or witnessed and how it made you feel. Awareness is the beginning of healing. We've said that.
Right. All right, so family, friends, and all of those watching. Today we talked about wounds that whisper, wounds that hide, wounds that ache long after the moment has passed.
Yep.
Quiet bullying cuts deep because it steals your voice, your
Yep.
worth, and your sense of belonging. But hear me, Your worth is not measured by those who ignored you. Your value is not measured by who excluded you. Your identity is not defined by the cruelty of others. You deserve to be seen. You deserve to be heard. You deserve connection that feels like safety. Your healing continues, and you're not alone in it.
And remember, no matter what, you are not alone. There are people that you can reach out to, find your support system. We are grateful to be able to have provided this information to you. We send you peace. We'll see you next week, 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. Peace and love. Take care. See you later.
Merry New Year!